Hi guys, welcome to your functional balance training workout on the JumpSport fitness trampoline with the handlebar. We're going to take our balance into some different positions today, some static work, but also some swinging and postural work that will help open up your body, but also help you find your center. My name is Kara.
And I'm Michelle, and let's hop on the trampolines.
Carefully step up. We're gonna warm up here like you should with any fitness routine. We're gonna start with some bouncing, and you're like, wait, I thought we were balancing. But this will just help get your stabilizing muscles and working muscles of the legs ready to go. So start with a bend in your knees, a light grip onto the handlebar, and just start bouncing down. Imagine that you have a ceiling on top of your head. You can't bounce very high, and it's pretty moderate to low intensity here.
Yeah, nothing too fancy. If you want to take your hands off, by all means, go for it. I'm going to leave my hands on the bar just for a little extra balance and support.
And if this ever feels like too much, feel free to just go to a press bounce where your feet are not even coming off the ground. You want to go for about 30 to 45 seconds of this.
Enough to get your heart rate up a little bit.
Then you're just going to switch up the legs into jumping jacks, so pull it in and out.
And this feels a little bit different than normally on the trampoline because a lot of the times we're wearing shoes. So now we're barefoot. Your feet can really open up and expand. It should feel really good. Try to wiggle your toes, evenly pressing through the balls of your feet and your heels.
You're working on a nice dynamic platform here, so really take advantage of that. There's far less impact than if you were doing this on the ground. We're going to take this into cross-country skiing. Legs are going to go front and back. 3, 2, and 1. Switch here.
Try to stay low here. The lower you are, the more you're going to warm up those thighs, hamstrings, glutes, all that good stuff that we're going to be using to balance.
And since we're going into some static balance poses, getting our heart rate up just a little bit and opening up through those muscles is going to be even more effective.
Just a few more reps here.
Finish this up in 3, in 2, and 1. Nice work. You've completed your warm-up.
Okay, let's get to balancing.
Here we go.
So you're going to hold each position for about 5 to 10 seconds. And I would say you can do this maybe 3 to 4 times on each leg and then switch over to the other side. If you want to balance for even longer, by all means, go for it. But this is pretty challenging. So if you can't hold it for 10 seconds, that's totally fine.
And as we go, we're going to take you through 6 static poses, and you're going to go right and left on each side. You ready?
I am ready.
Here we go. Starting with a tree pose. So if you do yoga, you might have seen this before. Tuck your heel up and into the base of your leg. This also is a little bit more advanced. If you need to just bring your foot down to your knee or even to your calf, that is totally fine. So find the place that feels good for you. We're always going to give you levels and variations, modifications if you need them.
And because you're balancing on one foot, make sure you're in the center of the trampoline. If you're on either side, that's going to make balancing really hard. Yeah, definitely challenging. If you want to give yourself an extra challenge here balancing, you can take both hands off.
Even one arm. We've definitely been here longer than 5 to 10 seconds already.
Yeah, we can switch to the other
So
side.
you can switch to the other side. But play with this too. There's static holds, but you want to find, oh my gosh, do I have this today? Maybe not. Maybe I need the bar. It's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it should be information for your body.
Yeah.
So maybe if you're leaning to one side.
Or you just can't catch your balance on one side like me.
Use your center to help stabilize. Let's move on to our next one. It's a front knee raise. Right leg's going to come up in front of you. Knee in line with your hip if possible. Lower if you need to, but more than anything, just feel your foot hovering off of the trampoline.
Your belly button's pulling in here. I almost think of pushing my tailbone backwards so I'm not tucking under. That's going to engage your lower abdominals and kind of help your posture. You want a really strong, straight spine here. Remember to flex that bottom foot so you're active through that right leg. Let me switch. This one's hard. Belly button pulls in. If you want to, you can put your hands on your hips. You can bring your hands out to the side. You can bring your hands above your head, test your balance here. Maybe something weird like this. I don't know. Get fun with it.
You can always use your bar as a guide too. If you're feeling like you're progressing in this, feel free to eke your knee up a little bit higher. Feel your core pull back in even more.
Awesome.
Let's switch.
Woo.
The lateral leg lift, kicking one leg out to the side, reaching your heel in line with your hip, and take a look down your leg. Make sure nothing's too forward or too back. You want to keep it right in line. Make sure your bottom leg is bent. You're not locked out right here. And those hips are tucked under.
And if you want to make this more challenging, you can turn to face the side so you only have one hand on the bar. Make sure your tailbone's underneath you, your abs are in, your shoulders are rolled back and down.
Let's switch. It's important to keep that bottom leg bent because that's going to help your muscles absorb the work that you're doing rather than locking into a joint. See how I kind of just like leaned? You feel pressure maybe in your knee or your hip. Keep it soft and you're actually going to get more work that way.
And remember, toes point forward the entire time. None of this stuff. Toes point forward, hips point forward.
We're going to take it into a front leg lift. So that knee raise you had earlier, you're basically extending that out a little bit more. Keep that foot flexed. Same principles apply. Stacked body, abs in tight.
Extra challenge, one hand can go on the bar.
Maybe both. Ah. And let's switch it out. I really feel my inner thigh with this one too.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah, because you are keeping that leg right at your midline.
Toes are pointing straight up. Remember, toes don't go to the side. You're going to feel your inner thigh more if your toes are up. You'll feel more of the outside of your quad if your toes are turned to the left. And we don't necessarily want to work that muscle right now.
We don't need that. We're going to take this the opposite way. So we had some flexion, now we get some extension. Right leg goes back. And you keep a little bend in that standing leg. Your toes pointing down. It's so easy to open up through that hip. So try to rotate. You're going to get more hamstring work and inner thigh work that way. Keep your body as straight and long as you can. And let's switch sides.
And just play with your balance here. You can change your arms. You can always put your hands on your hips. You can put one hand on the bar, put your hands on your shoulders.
The handlebar gives you a lot of options, so feel free to play with it. We have one more here. If you've also done yoga, you know this, Warrior 3. We're both gonna turn to the side for this one. Taking it all the way back, bend your bottom leg, and you're going to have a body that's parallel to the ground. Abs are pulling up and in, away from your bent standing leg. Feel free to add oh, Michelle, beautiful.
I mean, and you can see that my bottom foot is kind of wiggling a little bit. That's totally normal and fine. That's just your body finding its balance on the trampoline, which is an uneven platform that's kind of responding to my body weight. Let's switch and go to the other side. We'll just kick our left foot back straight from here. Softening that right knee. Body is totally parallel to the ground. You can extend one hand out if that feels good. You can try and test your balance. You might be a little bit different from side to side. Ooh. No big deal. Breathe.
And let it
come back to the center.
Release. Good, so those are your 6 static poses. They're challenging, great for everyday functional movement. Try to do that 3 to 4 times, holding 5 to 10 seconds each time. Great. We're gonna move on to some swings. So this next part of the workout has a little bit more movement to it. Definitely use the handlebar because you have a lot more weight negotiating here. So you're gonna want that stable hang-on point.
Definitely. Okay, so our first leg swing is just a lateral leg swing.
You can have the option, because the JumpSport trampoline is designed so well, you can stand on the ring, nothing moves.
Yep.
And then find that place to the edge of the mat.
And then you're just gonna drop behind you and come back to the side. So you're gonna want your leg to go all the way back behind the trampoline. Your toes are gonna dip farther than the trampoline. And the reason that we're doing this on this elevated platform on the tramp, so you can get a little bit more range of motion. You'll feel this in your inner thighs. I already feel it.
Yep, for sure.
In your core, just for balance. Couple more. Last one. Great. Cool.
Switch sides. Find that foot positioning first, bend through that standing leg, cross it over and back, and lift up. So as you can see, you can probably go for one arm off here if you're feeling good about this, but the double is really challenging.
Really hard. I don't even know if I can do it. You might have to
did
go a
half
little
of
slower.
And pace is a really good point as well. If you're feeling a little bit iffy about certain things, feel free to take it much slower. You'll have more control.
No big deal.
Two more.
I love when we're twins. Last one. Cool.
And release that.
Oh my gosh, I feel that in my butt.
Yes, lots of good work there. Here you go, this other side. We're just gonna keep switching so we're even throughout the legs. You're gonna swing front and back. So take this to the front and to the back. Allow your hips to kind of open up here and feel a little swing. You're gonna get a little bounce on that trampoline.
Yeah, kind of fun. A couple options here with your leg. You can keep your leg super straight. You can relax the leg and kind of swing a little bit more. I think this feels really good as a warm-up. And then to activate your core a little bit, you can flex your foot, keep the leg super straight. Let's switch to the other side. I love this one.
Very modern dance.
Yeah. I like to do this actually before I go on a run. Like, opens up my hips and just feels so good. And then if you want to add a little bit swing, go for it.
Find that flex in that foot. Make sure your core is tight so your back isn't swaying too much.
Two more. Last one. Nice. Cool. Okay. This one's hard but fun.
Last time here. You're gonna turn to the side, point your right leg forward.
And I'm standing a little bit to the back of my trampoline. About in the center, I'm lined up with that JumpSport logo. Right leg's in front. Shoulders are rolled back and down. Body is totally upright. And the left knee is soft. So you're standing like a soft. You're just gonna hover your leg above the trampoline. Rotate all the way back and around. So you get to that final ending position. And then bring it all the way back to the front. So we'll do that a couple times. You can put one hand on the trampoline. You can have one hand above you. And if you're feeling like you're super balanced, you can do both hands.
Ooh.
Not sure if it's gonna happen
Hard.
for me.
Woo. So this is kind of a culmination of all the work that you've been doing.
And let's go to the other side. Just turn it. Coming to the back of the trampoline. And remember guys, you can always stand on these little springs. Totally fine. It gives you a little bit more range of motion on the trampoline. Trying to keep that leg on one plane the entire time. Belly button's pulled in. Shoulders are rolled back and down. Test your balance. See if you're a little different from side to side.
Trying to rotate in that hip.
Let's do one more. Nice.
Great, you've completed your whole functional balance workout. Awesome job, you guys.
Nice work.
Taking it into cool down. Love to use the handle for stretching as well. Just like how you were balancing functionally, we're gonna balance for stretch too. Take a quad stretch, holding on to that right toe. And then check this from the side as well. You wanna make sure that you're not totally splayed out in your ribs. Try to tuck your hips underneath, and you'll feel an extra stretch in that hip flexor, in that quad. Let's switch to the other side.
I think I can balance. Make sure your knees are together. It's gonna just give you even more stretch in the front of your leg. And pull that heel towards your glute. I love this stretch. I could do this all day long.
Feels so good. You realize how much work you've been doing in your balancing
Yeah,
here
for
as well.
sure.
We're gonna open up through the chest. So carefully use the handlebar to turn yourself around. Keep your feet under those hips. And start with a wide grip on the bar to open up through your chest. And if that feels like not enough stretch for you, walk your hands closer together and press open from there. That'll stretch through the front of your shoulder and outer chest more. Let that release. We're gonna step off to the side, taking it into more of a shoulder and chest opener again. Reach that hand, start to walk those feet.
And if you're super open in your chest, you might be able to turn all the way back around. If your chest is a little bit tight, You might just be at a slight diagonal. No need to push here. Your shoulders are really delicate. So just go to wherever is comfortable, wherever you can kind of breathe into it. Know that the more you do this, the more flexibility you're going to gain in your shoulders, so you'll just get better and better at it.
Let's switch. If you need to walk on the ground, no problem there.
I just want to be on the trampoline all the time.
I know, it's so addicting. Open this up. If you want a little extra spinal rotation, try to look back to your hand. We're going to finish this up behind the trampoline, still using the bar. Hands go to the front. And Michelle's going to show a modified version here off to the side.
I have short arms, so this one's a little hard for me. So I'm just going to put one arm on. Bend at the hips, bend at your knees. Let your chest drop through your shoulder girdle. And kind of relax your head and neck here if you can. Let your head go. If you're following Kara, stay in your same position. If you want to switch to the other arm, by all means, go for it. We want to be even on both sides. So bending at the hips first, then dropping into our knees, relaxing our head and neck here. And when you're ready, slowly bend your knees, push them forward, pull your hips underneath you to roll up through your spine and come all the way up to standing. And let's finish this guy off. Take a deep breath in. Inhale and exhale all the way down. You guys are done. Great balance workout. That was so fun.
Awesome job, you guys.
We'll see you soon.